Today, what's come up to speak with you about is manipulation and how we can actually learn to see through all manipulation. And this is manipulation that we are engaging in, usually without even knowing it. And then it's also being able to see when others are using manipulative tactics. And so this can help us in so many ways. And the first thing that came up when I started pondering it was this question of what for. And when we start out on an awakened journey, we can start asking ourselves this question, what for, about everything. About everything we are doing, everything we are thinking, everything we are saying, everything we are feeling. Literally, you can ask what for about everything, and you'll get so much data and so much information about how you are operating. And if there are beliefs or programs, if you can shift more into alignment. I was doing this myself today, and I noticed many ways where I could make improvements. And this can happen, like I said, in all those ways, but so often we get in routines and things, and then one day we just realize, like, why do I even do that? I don't even like it. And why don't I choose to do something that's more enjoyable for me, or think different thoughts, or eat different food? Who knows? It could literally be anything. So we start asking ourselves this what for. And the more we do this, the more we actually start putting it on other people. So we see other people interacting with, and they do certain things, and we think, what for? Or we see someone say something and we wonder, what for? This is identifying the motive behind what is said, what is done. So it's getting closer to the intention of what's happening. And again, this stuff can be so subconscious that people don't even realize what they're doing. As often these tactics, these manipulative tactics, were formed when we were in childhood, and it was just what worked on our caregivers, on our parents, on the teachers, on the other students, to get what we wanted. And so it is what it is. And all this manipulation, when you look at it, is all attempting to control other people, attempting to control and force the reality to your way. It's the opposite of manifestation, creation. It's the struggle street, and manifestation is easy street. So this manipulation, though, it happens so often. And so one of the big red flags to look out for is if you are trying to make someone feel something, or if someone else is trying to make you feel something. So this is a key of manipulation, is someone is trying to make someone feel something. And this can happen in both making someone feel bad to get a certain result, or making someone feel good to get a certain result. Either way. So this is why it's so important that we learn to come back to ourselves, and we realize that we choose how we feel. We don't let things in the external reality dictate how we're going to feel anymore. No. That's old news. We are responsible for our feelings, and everyone else is responsible for their feelings. Because so much of this manipulation is trying to blame others for how one feels. So, and it may even start off with someone trying to make you feel good, and then they can't, and then they blame you, and to try to make you feel bad, to try to make you feel guilt, so that you do something that they want you to do. And so you can see this involves guilt across the board. And an example that came to mind is this: if someone is crying and crying about something, they're doing that in front of you, like at this dramatic display, this is attempting to make you the cause of the sadness, of the tears, so that you will basically do what they want. It's very manipulative, it's very controlling. But this happens all the time. And you can see that as children, we did this to get what we wanted. And now, though, it's time to grow up, grow out of it, and take responsibility for our feelings, and realize that we are not responsible for anyone else's feelings. Never, ever were we ever responsible for anyone else's feelings. We just took that on because of programming. If you took that on, I know that I definitely did, but not anymore. And so it's coming back to the basic truths, and also seeing past these illusions, this guilt trying to make one feel something, and how this manipulation also works so well is because the manipulator is able to tune in to what the other person wants, and then they provide a solution where they are the one who takes the most benefit. And so yeah, it's becoming aware of this, and it can really, it'll open your eyes to so much. And so what I was getting at with that is, when we don't want anything, then we will have so much more clarity and discernment about what is manipulative. And the key is in the word want. Want is a word that implies lack or separation. When we know that we are source and that we already are everything that we need, want, be, do, have, it's already ours. We don't want anything. And so we become very difficult to manipulate until we go back into an old program and we believe that we are separate from something and want it, and then someone else can come in and take advantage of this. And so when we don't want anything, well, and that whole concept of want, kind of like guilt, it's like an illusion in itself, because we already are everything. So manipulation is based on illusions. But people believe in guilt. They believe in want. And so that's why so many humans are being manipulated every day throughout all the day. It's just like, unfortunately, it's kind of like normal to be controlling and manipulative and dramatic. When that is all out of alignment, that is not in alignment with one's true self. And so when we come into our hearts, this is our discernment center. This is where we'll be able to pick up on this stuff, and also we can ask Spirit for information about how to proceed with different people in different situations, and we will always receive the best answer for us. And yet when we do this, often the other person, their ego will not like it because they're not getting what they want, because they're trying to control. Yet you are actually doing the best possible thing you could for that person, for their spiritual growth. Because when we do not fall for manipulation, we provide an example to show this person, oh, maybe this doesn't work like I thought it did. And the more of us that learn to see through manipulation and learn to put ourselves first and to trust what we receive from within, the more people will realize, oh my gosh, this stuff just doesn't work anymore. But you have to be very wary, because some people will do anything. They will, and even in spirituality, they'll use different things. You may be talking about receiving guidance from your higher self, and they may hear that and say, oh, I received guidance from my higher self to do this or that, the other thing. But is it actually true? And so that requires coming into your heart and discerning whether that is true for you or not. And how to do this is so easy. Is one option will feel good, the other will feel bad. What feels good is true, what feels bad is false. Yet, so that's on a general scale. But the kicker is when someone is attempting to make you feel good to get something out of you, control you in some way. So this is where that trusting your gut, trusting your instincts, your intuition, your inner guidance, and maybe information comes through in a dream. And that's helped me before. It could come through visions. It could come from seeing another example of other humans playing something that you're going to actually go through. So that's another benefit to being present, is we pick up on these things and then we can use them as they were intended into the next thing. And so, yeah, I just made some little notes. I wanted to check that I got everything that I wanted to relay today, that I was guided to relay this message. I had so many ideas this morning, but this was the one that Spirit let me know was best. And so, yeah, I hope this helps you to navigate your reality in a just more aware way, because the energy never lies. And the intentions behind things, the motives, this is where you can find the truth. And you may even have knowings of intentions. And this is something that I definitely feel. I feel so fortunate that I just know the intention of other people, and then I trust Spirit with how to interact with them, or not. Sometimes I'm just guided to not interact at all. But everything we are guided to do is the most loving thing we could do for that other person or persons in our lives, because that is going to be the catalyst for the most spiritual growth for them. Whether they take that growth now or not, that's not up to you. That's up to them. That's their responsibility. So it's coming back to trusting ourselves and trusting what we're receiving, and also knowing that our feelings are our responsibility and other people's feelings are their responsibility. And the more we take responsibility for our feelings, for our thoughts, for our actions, the more the whole paradigm of guilt will fade away from humanity. Because a lot of it is based on blaming other people for how we feel. And so yeah, that is what I am here to share today. And in my book series, we go into guilt in a big way, and we unravel like so much of it, and by the end of it you'll see that it really makes no sense, and it's a complete illusion just to basically manipulate and control other people. And it's worked on this planet for so long, but now people are waking up to it. And the more we learn to see through it, we not only help ourselves, but we help all others. We actually put that information into the human collective consciousness. And also, others may see how we interact as an example, etc. But again, trust that guidance. Even if it's not logical, like one last little thing is, often people think you'll do the right thing. So this is a way manipulators really use, is think, oh, if I do something like just say good morning, the right thing for them to do is say something back. You don't have to say anything back. You can still, in your heart, love and appreciate them and have compassion for them, but not basically do what their ego is trying to get you to do. So, and the truth is, there is no right or wrong. And again, the most loving thing that we could do for others is listen to our guidance and act on that. Be our true selves and put that out. And sometimes that involves not saying anything at all. And with that, I will sign off, sending you much love and blessings on your journey today. Take care.